And we're live. Hello, everyone. My name is DJ Kyderra, and I am from PonyvilleFM. And with me is actually also someone else who is our manager, if anything, the person that does it all. We have DJ Sleepypony. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Don't know
Hey.
if you've unmuted me or not. Let's see.
Yeah, you should be unmuted. By the looks of my bars and everything looks to be going quite well. So
Excellent. Okay, good.
I'll actually have a quick look at our chat room, see what people are saying, if they can actually hear us very well, and I assume they are. So what we're actually gonna do here is have about 30 minutes of a live stream where we will be talking about Ponyville FM and basically our adventure through the years of how we started and then where we are now and what we plan to do in the future. And we'd like to thank HAHcon, I should say, for actually having us, because I've never had a panel, so for me this is actually quite exciting. I think you had a few more interviews, right, Sleepy Pony?
Yeah, I've done a couple before, but I don't think we actually streamed to HAHcon before. I think it was a last minute sort of bodge on our end for sending it in time.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually our first proper panel on the convention itself. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, well, actual panel, yeah, because we do actually have quite a lot of DJs here and there jumping on generally. I can actually show on the HAHcon page, if you look at the schedule, there's actually quite a lot of DJs, and they are quite regulars at our place to just play music. So it's at the end of the day, really, where we got Rock Fox, Inkling Bear, Pony, Superbolt the Pony. Apparently he's quite a regular here, so I'm actually really happy to see that he's playing a lot here. And yeah, with that said, I think we're just gonna just go through the motions. What I've done is actually make a little behind the scenes presentation, if you will, thoughts bubbles, if anything, of what I thought, hey, these are the things we should really talk about. So I'm just gonna start it out and not let people wait even longer. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it a bit different. I'm gonna start off by I'm gonna send out a tweet, because we actually haven't tweeted out that we're live on HAHcon. So we might as well, right? And this is also something I would really suggest to people that are organizing a few things. We got a thing called TweetDeck, and it's great because you can actually set up timed tweets and all that kind of stuff. So it makes your life easier. We don't actually use this to set up times for radio DJs or whatever. We use this basically for simple tweets, honestly, with multiple accounts. But yeah, it's actually quite nice. Live at... Oh, wait, at... Horses at HOHcon. There. We just tweet that out, and we'll see where that lands. So I'm kind of hoping with this stream to kind of do things like this, where I show, okay, these are generally little things that people like to... or are handy to do that you might not know about, like a TweetDeck. Just use that for all your needs, honestly. So we're just gonna start with the presentation, because we're on a schedule. We got 30 minutes to teach you guys everything about our history of. Beforehand it was called Brony Radio, which it was. When was that? 2012? No, earlier, isn't it?
Oh, way before that. No.
It's like 2009, maybe. Yeah.
No. I didn't start the station. It was started by DJ Midget Brony, and it sort of... I joined in February 2011 when we were still doing Winamp streams to about a group of about 7 or 8 people. There was a small remixer group called Toast Beard, which basically was sort of like the early originals of the lesser... They didn't go into EDM or dance music as such, like what Travis did when he started the first Winter Wrap-Up remix in November 2010. We were more looking at like symphonic and just different distributions of the music in a different creative style. And at that point, it was just me, Midget Brony, and DJ Midley, who literally were the station. And we used to do mixes every so often on Winamp DNAS server, and we'd have like about 5 or 6 people on an IRC network called Flutternet, Pony IRC. So this was before PonyChat or Cantonet started up. And when the IRC server sort of merges together, Brony Radio was always famous for having a channel start date older than PonyChat. So it was actually quite amusing because our origin date was carried over from the old database at the beginning of 2011 when PonyChat started in August 2011. So our date was like 5 months before the network even existed. So a few people were like always asking about that when they looked at our origin date. So we had to explain to them.
It's a bit finicky in that regard,
yeah,
isn't it?
Our network sort of started way before what became PonyChat. Obviously, PonyChat, RIP. For SF or whatever.
Discord kind of took everything over. Well, we used Skype as well for a while, but IRCs were kind of nice to have. It's like you kind of miss.
It was a bit of a shame actually because we were primarily IRC based with a request system, so we didn't even have an auto DJ. It was literally from about 5 Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern time. We would just play music for 5 hours and mix around, muck around, read stories, or do all sorts of crazy stuff. It was like just interesting bits and pieces that we were just doing just to stream and talk about the show. So it was an interesting point, and then the demand for it sort of grew beyond the free time that we all had. And in the January, Midget set up a really bad Shoutcast server that was terrible, but it streamed songs to about 6 people, and everyone was happy. And then
it came on how it starts, doesn't it?
When I joined in the February of 2011, I obviously had been working in the anime fandom doing Icecast and Shoutcast servers, and I'd set up a couple of systems which were quite automated and had quite a lot of back-end support. So we supported many different DJ programs at the time. Even more than Centova or Shoutcast or Icecast together combined could support. And that server sort of grew, and PonyvilleFM sorts of runs its own bespoke system. So it was that's all what we run at the back end's custom made.
It's
basically.
Been still upgrading ever since that day. So
so our custom system is 8 years old next month. And will be version 12 next month as well. So we'll be upgrading again to the newer version.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the gist of it. I think I joined in at exactly around the time that it went from Brony... Yeah, no, it formed into Brony Radio, I remember. And then actually quite quickly turned into PonyvilleFM and merged, like you said. So for me, that was the beginning. Then we got the boom during PonyvilleFM, I think, which 2013 to 15, we had a lot of things and people watching. Actually, I have a little graph, because what I want to point out to people is we have basically had an uprise and then a back decline again. So if we look here as well, we have a bit of an increase. Then we got to the high point of 2013. And then during the movie, again, a little spike, and it's been going downwards. But what I've noticed, regardless, is that the amount of music that's getting made is still kind of the same amount. It's way less, though, from certain artists. Like, I remember Sim Cortina just making a song every day at some point. But that it's not as that extreme. But we still have albums getting made on like bi-yearly. Every half a year we have Ponies at Dawn at least. I think maybe every quarter still. So my point is, and this is also with artwork I found, is that there's still a lot being made regardless of how popular the show is. And I think that's going to last for a really long time still. So I'm curious to see. Well, I can see a decline, obviously, but I don't think it's gonna just instantly disappear. If anything, that's still gonna be a thing. Like you also said, we are on version 12 now, And what we made in that time period is, because we're running a marathon, right? We're just making it so that it's always running. And with that, you want as much as possible automated. So what we got is I think the only manual thing we're really doing is still adding songs manually, obviously, and selecting where it needs to go. But the playlist is just automatic at that point, and just keeping that up to date. We have a system that automatically scans songs as well. Because a question you actually see a lot, right, is like, okay, how do you guys get permission from the artist? Do you like ask with every song if you add them to the station? And the answer is no. My rule of thumb is that if there's a download link or a link to buy the song, we can put it on our station. And if they don't want that, obviously they just ask and we remove it. But there's also a system in place because we are a legit radio station that checks the song, scans it, and monetization feeds are applied. So if you have your song copyrighted for monetizations, you get monetized, and that's the way we don't need to ask because that's what the legal system is for already. So that's like a really nice system to have in place because it's not all only the Brony artists either, right? The official people are all getting paid. It's also how we actually find out if some really snuffy stuff is going on. But overall, it's just a really nice system that's now running for a while now. That it's just going better and better. And I think we're now still moving towards where we want to give our DJs more freedom or their own tools to actually upload and manage everything without us even needing to do anything. Right now we still need to fix an agenda when DJ doesn't go live. If that part is gone, everything is automated and we can just keep going until whatever year, basically. That's the dream thing we're going towards. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, what I said, or correct anything what I said there.
Okay, well, yeah, we've got a Luna server, which obviously was actually named after a different Luna than Princess Luna. She was named after the cat from Sailor Moon, actually. Yeah. Because the server that she's on is actually a server that does rendering for computational special effects technology. So it's just a spare board that's in there that's powered, and she logs and records all our songs and listener counts and everything, and does the annual reporting and things. So yeah, we do the things properly. It's been a bit of a pain over the years. It's been expensive because it depends on where our server location is. It reflects on the regional and locational royalties that we end up paying to the agency.
Yep.
So it's just the way it is.
Yeah, well, I do like what we have now. From what I understand, is that it is just one place, one big license, and that helps keeping everything in check, if anything. So it's all good, really. So I'm actually going to go on towards our next little chapter here. Yeah, it's a PowerPoint presentation and everything, people. So we got our events and how we organize events, because that's also a big thing, right? You got your music playing, but we also got our events. And our preferable events are actually just album releases. I really like our album releases and the people organizing the album releases, because you don't really have another time to actually talk with people while a song is getting played for the first time. I found I don't know where else to do that, and it's a community that I always enjoy seeing happen. So when New Ponies at Dawn gets released, it gets played completely on our station first, and then people can buy them. Because if you don't do that, people just kind of for themselves listen to a song and then don't really discuss it, and yeah, this is just a nice extra thing that we like to organize. And to organize that, we are getting quite good at it, where it's like, okay, we just have an Excel sheet, basically. We put all the songs and our DJs in there that want to play beforehand or during it. And then we just have that list, make a tweet out, basically, system pre-tweets when a DJ goes live. And that way... Yeah, so that way we have the event already organized before it goes live. It does happen here and there that there's a bit of kerfuffle going on, but hey, what you gonna do? It's a live event because we have 12 hours of DJs generally on every event going on, so there's gonna be kerfuffle. Yeah, so an album release is one that you see. Our own anniversary is an event that we really enjoy, which is also basically just DJs generally for like 17 hours straight. And then we have our Legends of Equestria. And that one is always quite fun, actually, because Legend of Equestria, we haven't done that in a while. But basically, right now, Legend of Equestria is running on is still a server running, right? And our radio station is still connected to it. It's our PVFM 3, basically. But on the website, it says 2. It has 2 different names, but it's kind of interesting. Basically, and just to give a rundown, we have 3 stations, right? We got our original, which is just the main playlist with everything on it. We got a chill station, which is just a lot less crazy. And 3 is basically our first one, but the DJs don't interrupt it. So that's what we now have Legends of Equestria just run in the background at non-stop. Basically, we switch that to our main PVFM when the event goes on, so DJs can connect to it. So that's the gist of it, honestly. We just use the station still. And those are always quite fun. I think that's the highest numbers of listeners we then get is because they all go into the server and we hit, what was it, 200, I think, at least, 300 maybe. That was quite a fun moment.
No, the one in 2014, we actually crashed their game because they sort of said to us, go crazy and stress test Ariel, which was our server. So I put the maximum listener count to 2,500 at the time for the first time over 2,000. And it was really funny because we got up to 1,700 listeners on Ariel, but the game crashed at 900. So they ended up having to take it down to upload more server nodes so that more people could tune in and party with us at the same time. I remember it well because there's some screenshots and videos around on YouTube.
Yeah, you can easily find them actually.
But yeah, it was 2014. I remember it was like pretty much the high point of like the Legends of Equestria craze and the main boom of the fandom, because that was our highest ever listener count at 1,847 was on Ariel at one point. And there was about 1,700 in game.
Yeah, so yeah, that's quite a lot actually. For us at least. I mean, we're happy with almost anything, and that just having a boom like that was quite a party. Yeah, I'm actually gonna move on as well because we have like about 10 more minutes. One point I want to bring up as well is that we are basically trying to let our DJs run PonyvilleFM because that's where people are coming for, right? Well, that and the music, obviously, that we have on our playlists. So what makes people come tune into PonyvilleFM as a DJ? And what makes a good DJ, obviously. So we have a hard set condition on all our DJs that they at least need to be able to beat match. This is for double reasons. One, licensing, because otherwise we are poor and cannot pay for anything anymore. If a person plays Justin Bieber once without a beat transition, we're broke. We need to shut the station down, basically. So no, we need actual DJs that can beat match and mix and match their own songs together. And there is also like the quality, right? Because we do actually have certain time slots for certain type of music because we don't want at the morning to suddenly have a DJ play hardstyle or whatever. It does happen here and there, but we try to prevent it. So far, it's always working, honestly. People are very considerate, and our DJs do want to put on a good show for the audience. And we leave it completely up to the DJs if they want to play pony music or non-pony music, because once again, we have an automated system that checks what the monetizations are on these mixes. So we stay in the legal side always. And we also want to try and make the events as easy to organize as possible for the DJs. So even if they want to organize one, like in these beats, always likes to, we give them the full power if they want to. So if a DJ in our chat room would come up to us to say, I need to do an album release or whatever, we're in. There's like no question asked, really. We try to help as much with organizing those kind of things. So what I want to do now is actually a bit risque, if anything, is we're actually going to have a live look at our system. And maybe also, if there's time, show you what I do if I want to add a song. So I'm actually going to close some tabs down so I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh. So we have our Azura cast here. Ta-ta-ta. That's always a fun one. Yeah, should jump right away to our music files. Sadly, you guys will not have a look at our profile page or our streamer DJ accounts for obvious reasons. It actually has the DJ accounts information just splattered on there. So what you will see here is actually we have our, for example, still a folder with Ponies of Dawn at dawn. It's a great thing to actually look at some of the things. Basically, this is what our system plays, right? Is that if there's a DJ who can't make it for a live session, what we do a lot is have them pre-record and then play it when it's that time. This system does that. It basically grabs a DJ play of a person, plays that through the length, and automatically cuts off our auto playlist, plays this song, and then continue. Basically, there's two bots, I think. One just makes sure the stream keeps going for the normal songs and playlists, and then the second one is for the Azura cast pre-recorded sets, and then the third one is the DJ itself. Third one basically is the one at the top that cuts everything off. If you connect as a DJ, it just throws everything aside until another song jumps in, then it cuts you off again. So yeah, we do actually have a list of who's live where that we double check before we tell a person to go live. So basically here you have your music files, and we also have our so-called playlists. And the playlists, I can also give you guys a quick look at our calendar, is in here we also show like core control and all that, the person going live when they're going live on a weekly basis. Fun fact, our Google Calendar is linked with Twitter, and I believe it's the same with Ponyville Live actually. What it does is it actually checks, for example, if I put a file in here, or what you call it, agreement? No, an appointment. Sorry, an appointment. But I construct it like it's a tweet. So you put information in here like, oh, tune into Core Control with AOL at AOL. You see here, this looks like a tweet because it is. Basically, when it hits on this timestamp, the tweet goes out. So we don't need to do anything. This is great, actually, and I love this system. And I'm not sure how it works, but I'm assuming a bot is basically logged into Google Calendar and tweets it out for us. We can also even add an image in the location, and that will tweet it out with it. It's a great system, honestly. So that way we know what's going on. Well, the other things, that's not that interesting to see, actually. What is interesting is actually our quick little report over here of our statistics. This is a bit of a double-edged sword, because yes, you can see on what songs people are leaving. And that's a really fun thing to watch, right? But it can also mean it's during when something disconnects, or there's a hiccup, or a group of people get sected off. So Fly With Me, Meliosis is probably not actually that bad a song. It's probably something else going on there. And for some reason, like 10 people suddenly joining in on a different song might actually just be a tweet out getting sent out to people like, hey, join our server because there's an event coming. So it's a bit finicky, but yeah, you can actually on the whole look at what songs are performing well and what not. So that's our Azura cast, which is a really interesting one. Then we have our Luna dashboard. I'm quickly going to go through because we have about 5 minutes. I might actually ask on our family here if it's okay if we go a bit longer, but we shall see. So what we have here is our Luna dashboard. And Luna dashboard is actually quite nice. this is basically just a glorified WordPress, but with a lot of DJ systems hooked into it. So we basically said we haven't been using this as much, and I think we're actually going to move away from it as well. The biggest problem with this is that we have double work with it. It's not automated, so everything we do in here is kind of manual. But what this is basically our website, where if there's a new anniversary post or whatever, it's where we do it, is on here. But this is, like I said, it also has the entire shows to show on the website. So sadly, again, the problem was that too many things we need to organize on a daily basis. If one person cancels, we need to go in here and on the calendar and cancel both of those, which caused too much time to be put into it. And as I said, we want everything automated as much as possible. So
we are actually looking at combining the two. So we move away from the Google Calendar because they're changing their API again. So that's why this will actually be coming back into more regular use.
This is basically going to be handier then.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly check with Crown Paints. Is it okay? So I'll see if we get an answer from that. Oh yeah, and our music playlist is actually also quite fun to have a quick gander at, if you will, because it's our playlist project. And this is like our baby, if anything, right? Because if we add a song, we actually double check it here. Because when we add a song, we don't just add it to a random folder. We have specific play folders for in the morning, midnight, to be more chill. We have a party playlist that gets played regularly. Then we have a drum and bass list. We have a dubstep list. Because our radio station, we don't actually want to have people constantly listening to dubstep. That's a bit of a finicky thing, rather than in the night or during a party moment. So what we want to do generally is when a new remix gets made, we look up that remix. So I gotta find a way. How many versions of that are there? Because we don't put doubles in our main playlist, because then you would hear I have to find a way, maybe 3 or 4 times in a row in a different version, and you would go insane. So we got a bunch of different versions in different playlists, so they don't overlap as much, or if at all. So yeah, there's 16 versions of I've got to find a way, and we basically find a place for all of them somewhere. So yeah, we do actually have 2 in Cheddar bass apparently. We got 1 in Sing Along, we got 1 in Just Pony, we got 1 in Drop Zone Vortex, which is our drum and bass playlist. Got 2 in there, got an edgy one, we got a drum and bass one and a party one, 2 party ones. Yeah, so this is probably the one we have the most of, if anything, and it's quite spread out as much as possible, so you don't get it constantly in a row. So that's a thing that we basically do a lot. That's basically what we do to add a song as well. I don't think I need to actually give you guys a gander at how it is to actually add a song, because it's basically I find a new song. There's multiple places we can do that, which is on either our own Discord. Our own Discord has a great little section where we just share new music. Or suggest even music to our radio station. So we have our own playlist project chat room, if anything. So let's see. I can actually grab this real quick.
Yeah, we have around about 3,000 songs in rotation, because we're one of the few stations that still play stuff from the early part of the fandom that a lot of people consider too cheesy or too old or too retro or too edgy for the new generation of bronies that joined in 2014 and things like that. But part of the project for our playlist was to showcase everyone in the fandom, whether they've got 1 view on YouTube or 10 million views. And we're there representing the creative output of the fandom together collectively, rather than supporting specific people. It's there for everyone, and that's partly what our archive is for we've merged our archive with a website called pony.fm, where a lot of you probably know that website, which is an archive for pony music. And yeah, I need to DJ more. I know. It's a case of we've got about 15 new playlists to come because a lot of the Equestria Girls remixes are underrepresented on our station, mainly because people didn't put them up as their names. I don't know if they were worried about because they were movies. It was a copyright problem. Yeah, we've got about 200 to 300 songs that we're going to add to the station in version 12, which are purely Equestria Girls and the movie remixes now that we have permission to finally air them. So you won't find original show songs on PonyvilleFM because although we sort of have permission from Hasbro, the ethos of the station is to play remixed music. So that is what I'm sticking to. I'd love to obviously just put the original songs on like the other radio stations in the fandom have done. But I think you guys as our listeners would probably punch me in the face or something. I don't know. It's a bit weird because I know you guys are used to the way that we are as a station. So it was more of, I do listen to all your requests you guys send me. I do have an open inbox on my on the Discord server for PVFM, and we will be also showing a throwback day, which will have an hour of the best of every year.
Yeah.
So on a Thursday, we will have 2011 to 2018 back to back. So there'll be an hour of each of those years, the best years.
Yeah, and I've also heard there's a lot of requests for non-EDM as well. So that's also
we're gonna
probably
open up.
Gonna start with a playlist if that's an option. We're mostly just stuck with personnel right now because there's just one or two people working on the playlists, and that's sadly a bit too few for people with full-time jobs. Still, at some point, maybe the fandom will die out slowly, and then we can just keep working and finally finish our thing, because now we're still in the middle of it, and just new stuff gets made constantly. It's just...
there's been a quite a bulk of new songs in the last, 5 or 6 months that, with me doing the server upgrade and making sure everything's ready for, the version 12 release, I've not personally kept up with adding new songs to the playlist project either. So yeah, we're a couple of months behind, hence why we're down on EQG and the movie itself, because obviously it came out nearly 2 years ago now. It's flown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a case of we're afraid to play them. It's more of a case of if you want the show tunes, there are other stations for that. It's sort of, I don't want to be one of those.
I personally don't want it. I'll be completely honest. I don't want the original show tunes.
There's more of, I don't want to be one of those shows that takes away from other established radio stations. Like, we are what we do, and the other stations do what they do. So I'd rather work together and have the community there than us become a catch-all station, because it's not really what we are.
True.
It's more of
that is very true. We prize ourselves on being a DJ radio station, an EDM DJ station.
Yeah. So that's primarily what we do.
And we're going to keep focusing on that. I do think I'm going to have to cut my presentation short a bit. There is a Q&A was in here, but keep in mind, guys, we are always on our Discord. If you pop in on our PonyvilleFM Discord and ask a question, you will always get an answer almost immediately. We're very happy to talk to people who have any questions or suggestions to our radio station, honestly. I think that's about it for me. I don't know if you have anything else to add to this.
No, I think we've pretty much covered things. It's been a good 8 years.
I figured actually I would only be talking for about 15 minutes, but it turns out I have like an hour to talk about anyway. Figures.
Well, we've got a lot of, we've had a lot of history within the fandom. It's been really interesting, and it's, yes, we've got one more year of show music, but I don't think we're going to lose the direction in G5.
No, I think it looks good.
Normally when Hasbro finds a winning combination, I'll be old now and mention obviously G1 in the 80s. There were several continuations of that storyline for some years after, because obviously it sells toys. That's what Hasbro are interested in.
Yeah, and
So
they seem to be starting.
I don't think G5 will be too much of a depart from G4 because of the success and the paradigm of what made it successful again in this version. So
yeah, they are for a reason definitely keeping the same characters.
I'm quietly optimistic is where the words are. But
yes.
yeah, we're not planning on going anywhere for some time.
Yeah, no, actually, I have to agree. There's a very good chance that we might just keep going, especially if they announce like, oh, Daniel Ingram is still part of G5. Yeah, I think honestly, we're not going to see much of a difference from our radio station then. We're just going to have to keep going. So we'll have to see. And I'd like to thank everyone for actually coming to check us out, and also HAHcon, of course, for hosting our panel. And I'll catch you guys all later.